Hey guys, this is Allison from Alley Cat Creations. How are you? Welcome to a lot of new subscribers and just everybody. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, subscribing to my channel. It really means a lot to me. I want my message to get out because it's not really my message, it's upstairs message. I'm just a messenger from upstairs. If you would like to help me out in any way, if you get a connected dot, an epiphany, a mic drop moment, a new author to read, or a new book to explore, please consider helping me out with a love gift. The information is down below. I also have another link to help me with my move because I'm still here and I have appraisers coming tomorrow, which I'm really upset with because this should have already happened a month and a half ago. I don't know why this is taking so long. But I mean, progress is small, progress is I'll take it, but I'm really pissed. I mean, no, divine timing, I know, but not happy with that. Spiritual soul advice. Going over a lot of the comments today from the episode 1 of the Hermit's Journey, Plato, the allegory of the cave. I was brought to just about tears. And I sat in a very long meditation today, asking upstairs what's going on. And I sat in a lot of contemplation today, seeing how many people resonated with that video. I didn't think it was going to take off. I didn't really think, I've been on this channel 1 year, and I really wasn't expecting that many people to watch. And I'm very blessed because that's a message that it's upstairs. And, the more people that are resonating with God, the angels, spirit guides, the ascended masters, the more I can come and project help from them. Because that's what I am. I'm a channel. Today's spiritual soul advice, I had to really dig deep for this one because it's how do we transmute the feeling of not wanting to live, being suicidal, feeling like we're going to give up, feeling like we're ready to jump off that bridge. I've tackled this topic before with the Wanderer's Handbook. Through LL Research, the people who channeled the Law of One wrote another book, and they talk about suicide and depression and anxiety and a lot of things that most of us seem to be going through, especially those who feel very alone and isolated in this world. How do we transmute that? I might be young for a lot of people who do watch me, but my soul's extremely old. And I don't look at anybody's age as anything. I usually tell my age because a lot of people think I'm a way younger. They think this is dyed. It's my real hair. But I used to have to check people because they weren't giving me the time of day when I had a job. People used to believe that because they have a master's degree and I have a bachelor's degree, that they somehow were smarter than me and that they had more authority over me, which wasn't the case and never is true. Doesn't matter what level of education, if you have any at all, it doesn't matter. You're a human being and you need to be treated with respect. And I was not. It took 8 years to garner the respect that I was getting at toward the end. Actually, one of the security guards messaged me today and said, "Hey, I haven't seen or heard from you or anything. How are you?" And it was really nice to hear from her. I know all about suicide, sadly. I've felt that way as a child. I was in that modality and in those feelings for a very long time of my childhood, in my teens and early 20s. I did not want to live. I didn't want to live. I didn't matter. I wasn't enough. I was stupid. I was learning impaired. I was outcasted because I was different. I was the artist. All of that stuff really huge indent mark in my life. All necessary, all part of my plan. We all have plans. But as a child, you don't know that you're going through that shit. You don't know that you signed up, right? For your experiences. You know, growing up and being adopted is another huge challenge. I have a closed adoption. It's still closed, even though I found my family, my birth family, and that was only 5 years ago. I grew up not knowing my identity, not having two parents that look like me. They tried matching me up with them. My birth father has crystal blue eyes, and my mother had hazel. My adoptive mom had the crystal blue eyes, and my father had the hazel eyes. And I have green. Both my adoptive parents were extremely grossly overweight and obese. And I never identified with them. I didn't identify with their religion. I did not identify with a lot, but they were necessary in my life. I taught them a lot and they taught me a lot. They didn't make anything easier. Looking in the mirror and not being able to identify. And I was a very lost child, not aware of why I saw things that no one else could. Why the demonics were trying to oppress me. Why I was on the floor with a knife or a bottle, doing stupid shit in my 20s. I wanted to numb myself out. I did not like how I felt, and having empathic abilities and not realizing that a lot of what I was feeling wasn't my own was the biggest struggle. And back in the 90s and in early 2000s, especially with the internet just being new, okay, I was in college when computers were really booming with the technology, and AOL wasn't necessarily dial-up anymore, right? So the things that I needed to access in terms of knowledge, in terms of spiritual growth, weren't there. I didn't have anybody to lead me and guide me. So I went on a lot of these journeys on my own, and I kind of still do to this day. You know, I'm not as lucky as other people to have things gifted to them. I don't have, you know, and a lot of us are in that when we're in the struggle. You know, someone today that I highly admire put out that he's working and he's in the struggle, but he's working, and that for him to do his videos, he needs help. And I wanted to put a little bit more than I did. I try to be very inspiring because I really enjoy this person. And at the same time, I'm like, well, you're lucky you have a job. Be happy with what you have. I don't need a fancy stream service that you have to pay a lot of money for to have good quality, graphics for people to listen to me and to respect and to take in my messages from God. It doesn't matter how it comes. It doesn't matter that I don't have my background anymore. It doesn't matter. Eventually I'll get there and I'll have those pretty nice, maybe not. I don't know. I don't think it's necessary. If you have something you want to teach people, they'll learn it no matter what modality you teach it in. If it resonates with them, that's all that matters. But when I do that, I look for responses from people. We're still in this time not having Amish mindset. Still. And I think as a child, not having friends to really reach out to me, people that didn't or knew I was in a mental decay and didn't do anything to help me. And I had a lot of friends that committed suicide that I was there for. And it's not that they committed it because I wasn't there for them. It's because the help they needed wasn't the help I could have given them. They needed someone that had that help for them to reach up and stand up on their feet. And they didn't have that. My uncle committed suicide. My birth mother committed suicide. I have a whole plethora of best friends that died different ways. It's all too very close to me. I've also tried to take my life several times throughout my life because I was done. Put a fork in me, I'm done. What I didn't realize was that I did have angels standing and being with me. I didn't feel their energy because I was in a low vibration. I didn't feel their frequency. I didn't even know that they were there. It had to be pointed out to me like, Allison, do you remember you were on the floor crying hysterical? We were there holding you up. Don't think we weren't there for you. We were. You're just way lower in density and vibration that you can't feel us. Many of you, as I'm reading those comments in that on my video, seem like in the same light. You're there too, or were there, or have been there. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of many of you who've reached out to me and shared your personal stories, and that you're brave enough to write it in the chat, because more people need to read. How many of us are really in the struggle, and how many of us are really, really suffering? It's very important. Sorry, guys. I had to pause for a second. Had to confirm a time when the appraiser can come to my house. Anywho, getting back on topic. Going through what I had to go through growing up with the depression, with being the empath, not knowing the energies I was taking in weren't mine, they were other people. in my meditation today and really going in, we're all collectively taking in Mother Gaia and everybody else's energy. Even if we shielding ourselves and we know how to do those things, it's still breaching. It's still breaching. And although we made these arrangements and assignments with God to have a hard time and a hard situation, to be on the lonely path, to be displaced in society because our friends don't recognize us, we're the germ that kills them, right? Or they just don't align with us and they can't see us. Oh, you have those feelings, you have those thoughts. I can't be your friend anymore because you think this. And whoa, step back, know your role. I'm allowed to have my own opinion, right? I'm allowed to think what I want to think, but that shouldn't make it so I don't have you as a friend anymore. What is going on with that? But the thing is, people, places, and things are really what no longer serves us needs to go. And that's the hardest part, is detaching from those things, even if it's family, even if it's my dwelling, even if it's stuff I really worked hard for and earned, they got to go away because they no longer serve me for whatever the purposes are. They don't serve me. How do we deal with this on a collective scale? How do we transmute these feelings of not being worthy, of not feeling amongst society that we matter? You got to love yourself first. And that's hard when you want to die, when you're on the floor crying out for help and it's going on to deaf's ears. Trust me, I know all about it because God put me up to the chance and the test to verbalize. I need help because I need other people to walk into my life to help me. I can't do it all myself. I've done it alone my whole life. And yes, my parents helped me here and there, but through the mental stuff, I did it all myself. I didn't need to go to a therapist. And not to say that I'm against them, I'm not. I need a specific person that's more on the empathic, more on the spiritual side, that understands that there's things untangibly unseen that are existing in time space. So there's not many of those out there, and those people out there charge an arm and a leg. I can't afford it. That's a lot of what happens. We need help and then we can't afford it. We can't help ourselves because everything is about this fucking entity of greed. And not to say that people should not get paid on their skill sets. Absolutely not. But there's a lot of things that are unobtainable to a lot of people who need it the most. This is where the paradigm shift really needs to start changing. This is where we really all need to start coming in and helping each other. How do we do that? We have to be the lighthouses for each other. Those who can afford those services should be paying for those services, and those who can't shouldn't be denied those services or treated any less, because everybody's circumstances are different. Everybody's circumstances are their own, and they're given to them sometimes as a test, and sometimes we need other people to be included in our tests. Just like we arranged a lot of scenarios to happen and play out in our lives because we asked to be in a role and we asked other people to be the characters in our story. I give the example of my narcissistic ex, who I asked prior to my incarnation to break me in many thousands of pieces because I needed that. And I didn't realize it at the time. Of course you don't, because you don't see it. My heart was broken. It was torn apart. I thought I found the one and only, finding out that that one and only was just a karmic relationship and it needed to happen. But I asked him to be the asshole to do destructive things to me. I asked for that. So other people play a role in your life. And when we are sucked back into our isolation and ourselves because the world doesn't treat us properly and people kind of fall away from us, this is where it becomes the challenge and the test, is to persevere. And how do you do that in a lack mindset? Well, we need to change our lack mindset. And yes, I've been living it in a year. I had to learn how to eat once a day. I had to learn how to let go of just about everything. And try to keep my vibration high and keep myself from doing stupid things. It's not easy. And all the stories that I was reading on my comments really triggered a chord. And when I asked Spirit, like, what are kind of the solutions? And they came back with me with the Amish mindset is helping other people. And that's really what my mission here is on this planet. I mean, all of us have multiple roles. It's not just that one thing and that one modality. We have a lot of different roles that we play out throughout our lifetimes. And we need to start figuring it out. And we're given that time alone to do that. So you get a book, you get pieces of paper. I encourage you once a day, maybe when you wake up, what's one thing that you love about yourself? Write it down. What happens if you wake up and you're like, this fucking girl, what is she talking about? Right? So we all do that. We wake up one day, we're just not having it. We are like, right? Put some binaural beats on. Do you have animals? Be closer to your animals. And if you don't have animals or you have allergies, totally understandable. Go find videos online that you see animals. A lot of zoos, and I only know this because I work with children and during the isolation period, working online, we had to give the kids something to watch. And I found some zoos have live cams to animal tanks. And I don't like the whole zoo thing. I don't. But those animals live a longer life and they serve a very big purpose to teaching children. So I know a lot of people are against the zoo thing, but they have live cams and the animals are damn cute. Cheer yourself up. What is one thing you can do once a day to cheer yourself up when you're in that set of mind where you can't take it anymore and you don't want to be here? Instead of numbing yourself out with food, with alcohol, with other things that we try to escape reality by, try to analyze why you feel that way. And just like how I was talking about my childhood and about my moments that I slipped and I didn't want to live, I transmute that. I forgive myself. I needed that experience. I needed that wake up call. I needed to realize why I was in that way. And yes, either demonically oppressed or not, you still went through those feelings. You still have, some people still have those feelings. You need to transmute it. You know, one of my really good friends is having a very hard time in life right now. She had to move with her kids. She's married and trying to get a divorce. Very, very, again, empath narcissistic relationship. And I keep trying to encourage her. She wants to fall all the time. And I'm like, you have to show him you don't care. The narcissist will try to manipulate you and try to make you feel like the victim when you're not. They're the victim. They can't heal. They don't understand. They can't see it. They don't want to see it. So they don't do the work and they take it out all on you. And I'm like, that's what he's doing to you. I said, she today was like, I want to cry. It's all I want to do. And I don't have the time to because I have the kids and I don't want anybody seeing me in that state. I'm like, well, go over to a tree, put your hand on the tree, and ask the tree to take it away from you and transmute it to positive energy. Trees do that. You know, it sounds like a tree hugging hippie kind of thing. It sounds ridiculous. It looks ridiculous. It doesn't matter. Trees are sentient beings. Trees transmute. Period. End of story. Go over to a tree. You don't have to hug it. Hold it. Put your hands on it. Talk to it. You might not get a response, but it hears you. And so does your team upstairs. They're always a thought away. You think of your mom and dad, they're in this, boom, they're here. Write something once a day of why you love yourself. Why are you still here? Is it because you want to see the war won? You are God's warriors, by the way. We're fighting a war on another level that a lot of people can't comprehend. Many of us are astral projecting out into our light bodies and doing a lot of work when we're asleep. A lot of us are fighting things that are untangible to most eyes. But we're doing the work. And it's very exhausting, and a lot of us are feeling it. Write down what you love about yourself in the morning, just a few words. Here's a challenge. Write it with your non-dominant hand. I'll give you an example. And I'm not using I'm a righty. I am ambidextrous, but my left hand is weaker than my right. And of course, I'm not holding the paper properly. It's not easy writing with the other hand, but I'm getting my other side of my brain to work. See? Challenge yourself. You can look online for heart mantras, open up your heart chakras, and write it with your opposite hand. I am that I am, the love and light of life. I am precious. I am amazing. Keep feeding that to yourself. You might not feel it fake it until you make it. Because you need to fix your mindset. You need to go in and change your mindset. You need to flip the script. If you've been fed your whole life, you are nothing, you're going to start believing it because that's what you've been fed your whole life. Even if you are like, you, right? Who are you to tell me that? It hits your subconscious. You're not aware of it all the time. We got to become more conscious of our thoughts. We have to live in the moment. So transmute all that trauma. Forgive yourself. Number one, you're in your situation because that's the arrangement you made with God. Forgive it, release it. That's the hardest thing for me to do because in the physicality, I'm suffering because I can't eat healthy because I can't afford the healthy food. I go to the food pantry and I get food poisoning. I don't, and again, I'm eating once a day and taking the fasting is great. Don't get me wrong. But when you lose 40 pounds and your ass is flatter than flat earth, you're not healthy. I'm not healthy. Like my face is sunken in. I'm fitting in clothes that I haven't fit in since high school. I could fit into my prom dress. I graduated high school 20 years ago. Okay, that's not good. At my age, I should be a little more plumper, right? I'm tiny, I'm a little one, but still need to have some like healthy weight on me. And I can't do that right now. I can't eat healthy. Everybody's like, oh, go vegan, go vegan. Go. Everything is sentient, FYI, and everybody comes in with an experience, but I can't, I have to take what people give me and eat it because guess what? That's all I have. It's survival mode. It's not good to be in survival mode your whole life. And being alone for the last almost 6 years now, after my mom died, not really having anybody to take care of me but myself, I was forced to do a lot of things that I never thought I would have to do. Right? But I have to forgive myself and I have to realize that it's the way it's supposed to play out. And no regrets. Right? Everything has an experience. So ask yourself, why am I going through this experience? What is it I'm supposed to gain out of this? What is my lesson here? What am I supposed to learn from here? Right? When you break things down in that way and you have an objective point of view instead of feeling it and absorbing it and letting it make you sick, you're transmuting. You're using your alchemical abilities in here to change your world, to change the paradigm. Guided meditation, it is very, very hard to meditate when you don't want to live, when you're in depression, when you have anxiety, when too much is going through and racing through your mind because you're overanalyzing, you're overthinking, you're like not giving, and not to say that you shouldn't give it to God, we all do. Hey, please help me with my situation, but certain things will have to play out the way they play out in divine timing, and sometimes we need more patience. I have to learn the patience thing because, again, when you have nothing and you're waiting and you took the steps of putting action into motion and putting it forward into the universe, like, hey, I did the work. Where's my reward? And my reward is just, I want to live, right? I don't want anything grandiose. I just want to live. I'm waiting. Have to have patience. And that's hard to do when you're in my situation. And a lot of you are in my situation. So I always say, live in the day, live moment by moment if you need to. Guided meditation helps. Guided meditation is just sitting back. You don't have to do a damn thing besides close your eyes and take some deep breaths and allow the person doing the meditation to walk you through, right? Be creative in your mind too. Let's say you wake up one day, you're in a bad mood. Well, why don't you go to your kid's self and get a box of crayons, go get some markers, and if you don't have that, you can use a pen. Doodle. Doodle. We all did it. I'm sure most of you have done it in school, that you doodled. Right? Doodling. Just doodle. Why? Because it gets your creative brain to start working. You know, sometimes people are more perceptive and they need to use their visualization, and maybe you need to use your creative brain. Color. Those adult coloring books are amazing. I give them to kids in the older grades to calm them down when they're frustrated and angry and they don't know how to verbalize what they need. Hey, guess what? Get some colors. Let's color. I'll do it with you. And by the time they get down to like the third color and they're coloring and they're really intent and staying in the lines and they're trying to figure out, Allison, what color looks good and, you know, bounces off the eye better, you know, and I'm like, oh, look at these two colors, right? Their whole mind frame changes, their whole mindset changes because they're now distracted. And then when you're able to and calm down and rationalize, you could tackle your problems easier. What's lacking in this world is people actually willing to actually help others. A lot of people say they're going to do something and they never come and fall through with it. There's always an excuse. I'm sorry I can't today because the kids, and I'm sorry because this, that, and the other thing. I get it all the time. I get it a lot. It hurts. Because when they need me, I'm always there. I'm the first person to answer the call. Always. You know, when people message me, I don't get back to them right away because I'm either in meditation or I'm working, I'm doing, you know, videos or research or reading, but I get back to people. You never know when someone reaches out for help, when they're going to need it the most. So we need to be more on top of being the way showers for that too. Even though we're in the struggle, we're the ones that usually are the first people to answer a call. We're the first people to answer for help. But we need to spread that. That's why Spirit gave me the Amish mindset and showed me that interview, showed me how it takes a village. It takes 300 Amish men to move a shed across a field. Now, anyone more or less, it wouldn't have happened. And they had to do it in unison. And this is what's lacking in a lot of the communities today, no matter what community you belong to. A lot of people offer their help. I get it a lot. People like, hey, come to my this, or, you know, come to here. But I'm looking at the prices of like the healing. You know, I would love to do a QHHT session, you know, Dolores Cannon style. I can't afford it. Priorities. Do I feed myself or do I not? Do I pay the bills to keep the lights on? I can't even put my heat on. It's cold in New York. I can't put my heat on because I can't afford the electric bill. I do mostly everything in one room and I just put the lights on. Everything else is unplugged. Who wants to live like that? Some people do. How do we get out of these mindsets? Especially when you're on the floor wanting to die. Know where you love yourself. And if you can't love yourself in the moment, look towards the animals. Go find something that makes you laugh. There's a lot of comedians out there, no matter how bad you feel, that will crack a smile on your face. I promise you. If you haven't looked at it, there's a lot of really good people. Jim Brewer, for me, well, instantaneous. I laugh. He's hilarious. But there's a lot of different comedians that could do that for you. I see a lot of marvelous energy behind the screen. Even though I'm recording, sometimes I can get impressions. Tell yourself how amazing you are and how strong you are on an everyday basis, because you are, you're here. You survive things that most people can't comprehend. And there is a large majority who's been depressed, who's been going through, the ringer, and we all have our individual reasons why. But only you know what you've been through. Only you know the feelings that have been emoted out of your system. Only you know the truth. So congratulate yourself that you had enough perseverance to stay alive. And we need to show that strength to the youth who feel are in very similar ways to the little self that I wish I could have had somebody like me come walk in my life 30 years ago to say, it's going to be okay, kid. It's going to be okay. You're going to have a rough life, girl, but it's going to be okay. We always need that, but you could tell it to yourself. Not everyone has it in the lucky way that someone's going to reach their hand out to stand you up. Sometimes we have to stand ourselves up, and that is the hardest thing to do when it's all you and only you. I'm learning that right now. Everybody's talking about, coming together, and it's all about we, and it's true. But what are you doing to put action into motion to help people get off the lack train? What are you doing to those people that are there saying, oh, well, we have to do all this for people? Well, what are you doing? One of the people that helped me last year in November, saved my life, did something. They put together a donation on a podcast for not just one person, for a bunch of people who were in the struggle, who lost their jobs, and gave them an opportunity in something to help them. Unfortunately, that opportunity didn't last that long with me because of where I live and the mandates. But for other people, they flourished. And it's all that, but it's the intention that was put out there that worked, that helped. We all are soldiers on this battlefield, but when you're down and out and all you really need is just a hand to pick you up, that's another one added to the cause to do more and to be there. But there's too many people that are down and out right now that just need a little bit of a hand to be guided up. And not too many people are putting action into an emotion who have the ability to do that. They're not stepping up to the plate. This is what I got today in my meditation, talking to my guides. A lot of people are talking, but they're not acting. It's why I'm putting out the work that I'm doing. I'm in depletion, right? But I'm still here, still putting work out. I don't appeal to everybody, and I understand that. But I'm still here every time, as long as my internet is on, as long as my electric is on, and as still as I have a voice and I'm feeling okay, I'm here. That's how I'm contributing right now. I'm hoping down the line in the future, I get more people on board in my cause and start picking people up literally off the floor and saying, here, I can help you. What do you need? And if I can't do it physically, let's find you somebody in your area that can help you. We have to learn how to network out. We have to learn how to use this network. Not too many people are using the network. Not too many people are able to reach out because a lot of people are, again, on the floor and no one's paying attention to them. No one's watching them. I could see it on social media, the people who just don't want to participate in life anymore because everybody's kind of passed them over. I'm that too. Right? It's up to it's really odd how that happens. Right? You could be a really bright colored crayon in the box and everybody passes you up because you don't show up on the white piece of paper. But guess what? You shine bright on that dark piece of paper and you are illuminating the darkness. It's the truth. Each day, write down why you love yourself. Find some affirmations. I do it on my Facebook. If you're not on my Facebook, I don't have my private page linked, but you're more than welcome to find me. More than welcome to find me. I post a lot of spiritual, quantum physics, my thinkings, my downloads that I get. I write them down on my Facebook, and they don't really care anymore who sees them. I don't care what I look like in my photos. I don't care anymore. Because you know what? Fuck you. If you don't like it, scroll past it. Free will, baby. You know what this journey has taught me? Be you and shine like the light that you are. Because fuck all them people, whoever doubted you, whoever put you down. Fuck them. They don't matter. I don't care what other people think of me. That's why I do the makeup, and whatever I want to do and however I want to dress, I go about it because I don't have any boundaries. Guess what? I don't have anybody to tell me otherwise, right? I have my conscience. As long as I don't look like a 2-cent prostitute on the corner, hey, even if so, that's my business. Let's get an affirmation card. I'm going to show you. And these are I love these cards. And I might, when I come into my abundance, get another deck. Because you can never have enough affirmation cards. Spirit, what is a collective need right now? I got 2, so we'll take it. I am patient. I trust that all good things happen in their own time. If spirit doesn't sync, I don't know what to tell you. Here, sorry guys. I have to adjust. Look at that card, read it. What am I looking forward to? How can I calm my nerves or any impatience I might face as I wait for this dream to come to fruition? So this is something I needed for today. Sorry about my gross fingers. I could say this on an everyday basis. I am patient. I trust that all good things happen in their own time. I call that divine timing. What am I looking forward to? You know what I'm looking forward to? Having an easy transition where I call a mover, I get a storage that they can drop it off to a storage facility because I did the packing. There's no way I could physically handle all the boxes. And it might I have a lot of boxes because I took whatever boxes I found on the street. So they're small. So I have a lot. But even the little bits of furniture that I'm taking with me, just so that I can have a bed and a chair and my bookcases and a few other things. I can't move all of that myself. I'm looking forward to having that be very easy for me to find a hotel or a long stay hotel that will take my cats, that my cats will survive this very long drive to where I'm going, that my car makes it there with ease, that I pick out some properties and place some bids down and hope that one of them takes it. And it's the ones that I want. I'm keeping my mind open to, not just one area, to multiple areas, that I can easily find a job and that I can make the home and make my life into something more than I have now. That's what I'm looking forward to. How can I calm my nerves or any impatience I might face as I wait for this dream to come to fruition? For me, is going on Zillow and looking at properties, putting myself in those houses, and how would I like those houses? How do I want to decorate those houses? Now, for you, it's not going to be the same. Many of you are not moving. Many of you are not in limbo, right? But what is something you could do to calm your nerves? What you can do in the meantime so you're not feeling so impatient. See, spirit's working with me. They're like, hey, bitch. See how this works? It's asking you to do the work. It's asking you to think. It's asking you to change your mindset. What are you looking forward to? Right? And in the meantime, how would you like to deal with these situations? I like to fantasize. I like to be creative. I use my visualization in my mind to place myself in better situations and hope that they manifest in reality. I am constantly learning and growing. It's the damn truth. And guys, I urge you to make your own affirmations. Right? As dark as life is, you have a lot of knowledge. A lot of you that I read your comments have a lot of knowledge and a lot of inspiration you can share with the world. Even though you're in a dark place, you have a lot of wisdom. And you need to spread that wisdom. What have I learned from a recent failure? See? How can I become more optimistic and opportunistic regarding learning experiences in the future? What have I learned? I don't even call my situation a failure. My situation came because I stood on my 2 feet and said, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not committing suicide because I am allergic to the preservatives. And that should not be holding me back from a job. But here in New York, it does. Still, to this day, can't get a job in my field. And a lot of the other jobs that I have applied for have said no, 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 rejection, 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 right? So what have I learned from that? Keep persisting. I wake up each day with a purpose. If I feel really bad, I give myself the time that I need to recoup. I meditate. I do guided meditations. I listen to music I love. I like to dance. I used to be a ballerina when I was younger, and I love tap dancing. And I run around my house. I used to be a Zumba instructor in my older times. I just had to give up my license because I couldn't afford to pay for it anymore. But I run around my house, and now that I have a lot more space and less furniture, I do all kinds of turns, and it doesn't matter how ridiculous I look, it makes me feel good. So I dance around my house, right? I experience the joy in doing those, and I'm getting exercise in the meantime. How can I become more optimistic? Is changing your mindset. Setting your intention each day, having gratitude that you're alive. Start there. Writing out how you feel. I did an episode of the spiritual soul advice, and I talked about journaling. Journaling is very important, especially for those of you who are in the struggle. I have at least 15, 16 journals that I've written throughout my life. That is just whatever I was feeling that day, I wrote down. Whatever was going through my mind, I wrote down. And reading and going back, I'm like, wow, why the hell did I feel that way? Over that nonsense? Holy shit. Really, Allison? Sometimes you don't need the journal right then and there, but writing down how you feel and what you're going through, and then 10 years later, you didn't even realize you wrote those journals. You go back and reread them, and you're like, fuck, look where I am right now. You're the commander of your ship. It's not sunk down right yet. It's not there. It might be close, but it didn't sink completely. You have the ability to save your life. You have the ability to ask your guides, your angels, God, creator, source, infinite intelligence, whatever you resonate with. There's no right or wrong, to help you. And things don't materialize right away. And that's the hard part, is waiting. And that's my hard part right now. I'm going through that really bad. But each day I'm waking up with a purpose. Each day I'm waking up with something. I put things in a schedule. Hey, all right, you know what? I don't feel like doing my schedule today. You know what? It doesn't matter because I'm not bound to anything. So what if I take a nap? So what if I meditate and then fall asleep? It happens. Because my body needed the rest. You have to let go of expectations. You have to let go of the indoctrination that we've grown up with. We have to learn how to let go of what no longer serves us. And for many of us, society does not serve us right now. It's not helping, it's not serving us. So we have to let go, and we have to learn how to reemerge from this hermit's journey into something better. So I really advise people who are really in stalemate, in the stuck, if you can afford it. But if you can't, guess what? If you have a piece of paper, go online, use your phone, and find inspirational quotes. Write them on that piece of paper, doodle on them, whatever you want, do a bunch of them, and then each day pull one. You don't have to be creative. If you don't have the money, like I don't have the money, I had a lot of this stuff before I hit rock bottom. I didn't even think I was going to hit rock bottom. Be creative. Color on a piece of paper, write down some quotes. What is your favorite quotes? And those of you who are religious, what is your favorite Bible quotes? Whatever Bible you read. You have a favorite author that they quote amazing stuff. Write it down. Give that as your inspiration each and every day. And you know what? If you have social media, share it. Someone is going to get impacted by it. You're not alone. I know I'm not alone. Makes me feel better to know that I'm not alone in my struggles, in my thinking, and in my situation. We have to be the guiding light for each other. That's what's lacking. When more and more people start coming together and start having an Amish mindset, what are you abundant in today that can uplift and help another person? And that doesn't need to be financial. You have a finger, you have a nose, you have a toe, you have energy. Like, share, and subscribe to somebody's channel. Oh, but she's controversial. So put it on your other platforms. There's plenty of platforms that not everybody that you know personally is on. I have the most blue state friends on my Facebook. Just about everybody. It's becoming more diverse now. But for a very long time, that's all I had. And they couldn't see the things that I see. They don't grasp. They laughed at me. You're a tinfoil hat person, Allison. Okay, but you could still be my friend, right? Because I think out of the box doesn't mean I'm a bad person, does it? Well, no. Okay, then. So let me be able to think what I want to think. Who cares? Don't care. If it doesn't resonate with you, let it go. But I highly suggest to those in the struggle to challenge yourself to write down what you love about yourself, that you love yourself. Write down mantras. You want the extra challenge? Do it with your other hand. Write it with your hand that's not dominant. Watch cute animal videos. Journal. Be creative in your thinking. Take up a new hobby if you have the money to do so. I used to do epoxy resin. I love that stuff. I put my floors down as epoxy resin. I love it so much. You know, if you're creative, write. I used to do a lot of poetry about my depression and how I didn't want to live. I called everything the void. Everything was in the void, even though I have a portal that is called the void, believe it or not. Everything was the void and the abyss. I read too much Friedrich Nietzsche, by the way. But his work actually helped me get out of my void. Actually making sense of why I was in the void. Doodle. Be a kid. Go to the park. Go to the playground. Go on the swing. That's how you start feeling life again. That's how you start feeling again. And you know, it's hard when you see people with their families and their lovers. And you know what? I've been alone my whole life. Even in relationships, I had abusive ones. I always felt alone. But I still appreciate life. I still go to the park. I play on the equipment, and that's why I love doing the job that I did. I was with the kids all day long, playing with them. Especially when I worked in pre-K, I would go on the equipment. I was be doing all the obstacle courses that I set up for them. You know, I was being wacky and silly and being myself, and it was the best. And hopefully, I can get that job back and do it somewhere else, because that was the best, most fulfilling job I've had, is to play with kids and teach them life skills in the meantime. Find that thing that you can do that brings life back into you. That was taken away from me, but don't think that when I'm able to get to a park that I'm not doing those fun things. And I don't care what people think I look like. Go touch a tree. Go connect and ground in nature. You need to ground. Listen to light language. It sounds ridiculous. I'm working on my octaves in my throat. Like, I don't know if you can hear this. I'm doing a lot of that. Check out Brian Scott of the Reality Revolution. He does sleep meditations. He does a lot of guided meditations. He's amazing. He's incredible. I love him. I love him. Love, 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 love him. And he reads the Law of One. He talks about Quo, and I love Quo. He talks about Neville Goddard. He goes in, he's very similar to me in a lot of ways. Check him out. His meditations are really good. And his body of work is incredible. He's really good. Check him out, because those of you who can't sit in the silence because he has a plethora of stuff, and if he doesn't resonate with you, there are a lot of people out there that are very talented that don't get enough recognition, that do those meditations, that do the light work, that do the light language, that do the harmonics and the octaves that you need, right? It might sound silly, but who gives a fuck? If it works, it works. Try it, and it's all for free. You're not paying them extra. It's that on YouTube. Go look at cute animals. Find the things that are going to bring back the spark of life within you. Have a purpose each day, even if that's just to brush your teeth. You know, I have rheumatoid arthritis, and there's days I physically can't get the fuck up out of my chair or my bed. I can't. I have to crawl to get to the bathroom. I get it. I know I've been like, I couldn't hold a pen for a long time. I had to learn how to redo everything in my life. I've been there, and a lot of people are there too. Just be thankful you got up. Change your mindset. It's not easy. When you catch yourself, I go over this a lot in the Kabbalion. Go to neutrality and start swinging that pendulum back to the positive. You're going to have negative and positive. That's what we're about. But those of us who have spent a lot of our lives in the negative pole, are the illuminated ones, are the warriors, are the fighters. We've seen the worst of society. We've dealt with the worst of society. We're the way showers for the light. But we need you. You're important. All of you are very important. Don't feel alone. Even though you're alone in the physicality, you don't have a hug. You don't have someone telling you they love you every day. I know I don't have anybody that told me I love you anymore. My mom is dead. I have to, hear it from there, but it's not the same. They're gone. It's not the same. I know they're with me all the time, but it's still not the same. Know that you are loved. Know that you matter. Know that you have wisdom within you that you're going to share with somebody that's going to change their life. You might have not met them yet. And that's the hope that we need to hold on to right now. So I hope that you've taken some of the advice that I have given that has worked for me. It might not work for you, but I hope it does. Something will work to get you out of that funky state. And it's okay if you go back. Listen, life is a pendulum and we swing both ways, but it's coming to neutrality. So when the pole's up here and the ball keeps moving, you're not being jumped back here. You're moving just a little further back, but you're going up high. We're in the same, I keep saying this, we're on the same building. We have the elevator going up and down. If you're on that first floor, you still matter as much as the people that are already up here. We all matter in that building. And it's up to the people up here to come help the people down here. And that's what a lot of us are waiting for. And even the people that are up here mentally and consciously, right? Some of us are still down here. And some of us are in the middle. We all matter. We're all going together. It's a matter of the rest of the people waking up. It's up to everybody to change the world. You're a part of this world and you matter. Reach within yourself and be the strong beacon that you are. You're here for a purpose. You're here to impact the planet in a positive way. The demons don't win this time. Don't let them win over your life. You are the light that they're trying to dim. Tell them to fuck off. You don't consent to their shit no longer. You don't. Stand up and say, fuck you demons. You control nothing of me, and I give you zero consent to be in my presence. Bye-bye, demons. Not today, Satan. Fuck off. They only are able to do what they do when you give them power, and that's to be in your depressed state. When you're not laughing and you're not enjoying life, because they are going to suck the loosh right out of you. So make a conscious effort every day to say that I love myself. I love my eyes today. I love the way I did my makeup. I loved how I just rolled out of bed and I didn't give a shit. I love that I was able to eat today. I am grateful that I have my cats. I'm grateful that I have the sun shining on my face today. I'm happy that I got to see a bird today. It's the smallest little things. And it helps program your mind and get the trash out of your head and refocus. Let's refocus. And hopefully more people follow in that refocus. And more people have that ripple effect. And instead of just talking about it, they're actually walking and making motion happen for a good positive outcome and a cause and effect to occur. Right? It doesn't hurt for people to have a show that they can donate whatever, and it can be dispersed to people that need help. It doesn't hurt that people who have these products that they sell. Well, if it's network marketing, well, why can't you have people donate a membership and maybe a sample pack? Give people that lost their jobs an opportunity for something. That's walking and putting action into motion and not just talking about it. Right? It's the people that have fallen that want to do and are always about the fight that can't, because they're in depletion. Always be creative and find a way. I found a way to get to the truth tour by going around my neighborhood and collecting cans and bottles to recycle. Not everybody has that ability to do that. We all need each other. So let's come up with creative ways to help each other out. Start with your local community. What can we do online to figure it out? How do we help people? How do we get the word out? Let's work together. And I want to thank everybody who's written comments. You're very brave, and I'm very proud of you for doing that. You're not only helping yourself get it out of you, getting those feelings out of you. It's a rant, and people are like, well, it's toxic. No, it's not. Sorry, it's not. It's your experience, and you're entitled to talk and to get it out and release it. So please feel free. If you need to release whatever is going on in your life, I'm here. I don't charge. I'm here to help. Release that negative energy that's within, it's inside, it needs to get out. You need to talk, and you don't want to talk to yourself in the house. You can use the comments or you can email me if it's private. Sometimes you just need another person to listen to you, right? That's another way to help. Write down, what are the ways that you need help? How could someone help you? What are you looking for? Write it down. Please insert it into the comments. Eventually, I'll get more people to do lives. I had 2 people show up for my 1-year anniversary, but I'm happy they showed up. And if no one showed up, it's okay, right? I was excited. I'm happy. I made it. I'm alive. I survived a whole year in depletion. I did it. I'm excited. I'm happy for myself. I celebrated. I don't care how ridiculous it looks. I did it. I want you to have that kind of enthusiasm for life. It's going to get better. Don't know when. And I don't go by dates. Everybody's like, oh, this has to happen and that has to happen. Well, you know what needs to happen now? People need to stop hoarding. I don't have a retirement. I have nothing to invest in, nothing. And even when I get those checks in my hands, I still have to wait for the checks to clear, and I am still depleted because they always take more than enough from you that you're left with next to nothing. We have to stop hoarding and thinking of things in values when it comes to this greed. What do you have today that you can give to somebody that you're still abundant in, that you can spare to help another person? It could be your words. It can be your ear just to listen. You might know somebody that has a job that can offer it to a person that is in lack. You have a garden in your backyard and you have vegetables and fruit that you might be able to give one or two, let's say, oranges to somebody, right? It might not be enough, but you know what? That might make somebody's day because they were only eating once a day. So that orange for me would have been amazing. You don't know someone's circumstances. Some people don't verbalize them. But I'm happy for those who were able to bravely write down their situations. And I'm hoping that the right people hear these messages, read them, and understand that, yeah, this little clown show that's happening, this movie that we're all going through, yeah, there's really people that, oh, we're not the sacrificial lambs. I'm not to be made another example of, because New York City made an example out of me because I should have known better. Go fuck yourselves. In the most New York accent you can get. Fuck you for being unconstitutional, tyrannical, and communistic. I didn't ask to live here. I was brought here. And if I could have moved, I would have moved a long time ago. It wasn't in my plan. It wasn't in the blueprint that God gave me. My move is coming soon. But in the meantime, what am I doing now? As Mark Atwood would say, fuck your therapy. I hope that each and every one of you that watches this gets the inspiration, reaches out. I'd love to hear from you. Please doodle, be creative, color. There are coloring books that have curse words in them. They're very hilarious. If I can dig one out, I'm going to dig it out. Most importantly, you are enough. And you're worthy of being here. So thank you for being here. Sending each and every one of you light and love, patience, and healing. You're going to make it through. I'm going to make it through. And we all need to be here for each other. Until the next one, guys. Love and light. And I'll see you again. Stay strong. And know that you are enough. Bye, guys.